So we got our if. We got multiple conditions now utilizing and logic. If this is true and this is true. Now let's take a look at another one. Let's look at the or logic. Now I still want to perform multiple conditional checks, all using an if, but now the logic is a little different. I want to know if this is true or this is true. Let's take a look. So I'm going to create another variable here. Let's call it X. And I'm going to put in a name. Let's say this is George. All right, X is equal to George. So now I'm going to bring in a conditional statement that checks to see if X is equal to George or Fred. All right, so I'm going to say if X equals, remember the double equal sign is your comparison operator. So I want to know if it's equal to George or X is equal to Fred. All right, there's my condition. We'll just print this out. Once again, access granted. And let's bring in an else as well. Because if it's not one of those, right, I want to know if access is still granted. We're going to give him something else. We'll say access denied. All right, so X is equal to George. We'll go ahead and save this, and I'm going to F5 to run it. Oh, invalid syntax. What did I do? I did a capital E. All right, we talked about it earlier. Python is a case-sensitive language. I should have recognized that. It didn't turn orange on me. So I'm going to go ahead and save that again. And let's go ahead and F5. George. Oh, it's popping up on my other screen. I'm looking at this one here. It's run a few times. Let's pull that back on my screen. So access granted, looks like it's good. I'm going to run it one more time just so we can see it change on the screen there. F5. And there's the new one, access granted. Now, if it's something else, let's say it's Harry. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And I'll run it again. And there's my access denied. If it's Fred, let's save that. F5. Access granted. So we've got our if statements, conditional checks, and then we inform our code what to do based on the condition, whether it's true or it's false. We can bring in multiple conditions. We can also utilize different types of logic, whether it's an and statement, and logic, if this is true and this is true, or we could utilize the or logic. I want to know if this is true or this is true. So try this all out. Get a feel for working with your if logic. Utilize different conditions, utilize multiple conditions, use your different logic, whether that's an and or an or. But try this out. Really get a feel for it because you're going to use logic all over within your applications, within your programs.